your team members become like your new clients. So you have a system for attracting, converting, retaining clients. But of course, as those clients now grow from that system, you're going to need more and more trainers to serve them. So you need a system to attract, convert, and retain team members. Or an apprenticeship even could be a front-end program for that.
Yeah.
So we, for example, at Transform, we sell level 2 and level 3 certifications. We do it in Cardiff as well. So we are having products and services for other professionals, so that makes a bit of profit, but also so we can start building that pipeline, and we're never going to run out of people we can go and talk to. And they might not be ideal trainers, like an email list might not be ideal clients all the time, but at least we have somewhere to pool from that we can go to. So we would probably put, and you're in the program, so you have all the funnel templates for the team member attraction funnel, and you guys can see it in the workbooks as well. But we'll run an ad, a few pounds a day probably, attracting personal trainers in. It's very specific how we do the wording, which you can see in the workbooks as well.
I think you shared something the other day.
Yeah, we just did our
criteria to meet, and straight away that was...
Yeah, we shared the walkthrough video of the one we did for James to get Sam, our new coach. And it's positioned very differently, like this is an opportunity for you to learn and work from us. That you know, you need us more than we need a level 3 personal trainer. And we just run a few pounds a day for that and collect a couple of opt-ins and people attaching their resumes or CVs. I would just have someone like once a week, we'll just look over, if 5, 6 a week come in, we'll have someone look over the applications, even when we're not hiring. Same thing, when you don't market only when you need clients, you market all the time to build your list. So, but we'll have, you know, on a much smaller level, we'll build 6, 7 applications a week maybe, and we'll just have a look at them once a week, put the good ones on a good pile, and the not so good ones on the not so good pile. And you know, what we'll do then is first kind of test for us is we'll call them up if they have potential. Looks like they have potential from their form. We'll say, you know, hey, do you want to come in and do 3 hours of work experience, just to kind of have a little tryout? And just their immediate response to that will tell us everything. If they're like, oh, well, my rate is, sorry, not for you. But if they're like, oh, really? Could I do that? You trust me to come in and like work with your guys?
I actually had that a few weeks back. We hired our first nutritionist a few weeks ago, and the exact same thing happened. There's like half the list that are like super well qualified people. Like, yeah, I'm going to need at least like blah blah blah. I'm like, that's absolutely fine. Like, but that's not going to fit for us. And then you've got literally the other side of the end of the spectrum. Where like, I would literally like sever a limb to get the opportunity to.
Those who want to work to learn,
to practice like.
You want the ones who want to work to learn, not just work to earn. The ones who are coachable and want to learn from you because they respect you.
So like for that, I think it was about 40 applicants for that.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'd say probably 20 of those ish would, you know, senior technicians if you like or whatever. The rest, so from that maybe like 15 to 20 good quality. You know, as we grow, like we could easily get back in touch with those guys as well.
Yeah. So you can do that. We can also do like if we have one of our coaches going on a holiday, we'll use these guys for holiday cover. So we might say, oh hey, you know, we've got some hours next week of trainers going away for a week.
Like a temp, right?
Yeah, do you want to come in for a week and help us out with some sessions? And we'll say it's a work. It's going to be a chance for you to come improve yourself. And if you do a good job, then we will give you something at the end of it. You know. And again, all we're looking for really is they have the response of, oh my God, yes, I'd be more than happy to do that for you.
What's the exact role?
So it would be a coach.
Okay, so
taking sessions.
you know, most people when they look to hire somebody, they'll say sort of basically what they're looking for, which sounds like common sense. They also want to say this is what I don't want.
Yeah,
right?
from
just really nail that what you don't want.
So the first interview I had this person, the first thing was, I'm not in it for the money. And then one of the reasons why she left was based around money. So looking back,
slow
steps along the way, which
here's a tip in business: people will lie to you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's gonna happen, and So
I knew guy actually said that a few weeks ago. He's not in it for the money. That's worrying. Anyway.
Yeah, we got great. We won't pay you anything then.
Yeah.
Get paid.
So you're a charity, right?
Yeah. If they say, and that's the thing, you know, because a lot of people are just saying what they think they should say in an interview. They're just saying the right thing.
Can you call them out on it though and just say, right, we know that's bullshit. So this is what you're going to
Definitely.
earn now.
Well, you guys, I mean,
How much do you want to earn? Like, tell me.
yeah. Well, those you, again, you guys in the mastermind, like you have the material on this, where you know we do the two-step interview process, where we do first of all, if they pass that criteria for coming in, basically we're just looking at their response. If they are like yes, enthusiastic, grateful that they can come in and don't ask about money, then of course we'll put them on a quick 10-minute interview first, because we need to actually talk to them before we let them in on the clients. That was just a little test basically first. And if they go, yeah, I'd love to do that, we'll go, okay, cool. Well, are you free on Friday to meet up first for a coffee? And we have our pre-interview with them. And the pre-interview is like Matt was saying there, it's just to get to know them. It's just to sit down, informal, have a coffee, and sit. And I'll say like, look, I'm not going to give you the standard employee questions. You don't give me the rehearsed bullshit employee answers. Let's just have a coffee. What's up? Tell them about yourself. We don't even talk about technical skills. We don't talk about business. It's just because you want to know them as a person first. And like, right, Johnny, tell me about yourself. Like, what got you to training? And I'm just genuinely interested to hear them, because all I'm looking for at this point is, can they hold a fucking conversation? Most people can't. It's unbelievable.
So then ask them what interests you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how many times have you been to a party or a function and say, oh, what's your name? Well, what do you do? Oh, I don't give a fuck what you do, right? Tell me something that interests you, right? Because you get a better conversation.
Yeah. We actually have that expanded in our second interview. If they make it through that, all I'm looking for is, can I, have a coffee with this person without wanting to kill myself, basically, because that puts them ahead of most people. And if you can't tolerate them for 20 minutes, then your clients aren't going to like them either. And then when you go into the full interview, then it was a bit more formal, a bit more about the technical roles. We actually have a 3-step process, which is interest, as Trev said, and then insights, and then influence. I won't go too much into this because it's in the program for you guys and in the workbooks, but these are my 3 criteria. I first ask about their interests. Interest in the industry. What's your interest in the fitness industry? Well, that's going to tell me their potential for being a good coach. So if they can tell you like why it's so interesting, why it's passionate to them, how fitness changed their life, great. If they're like, oh, I hear it's good money being a personal trainer, they have no interest in it. Then I ask them about insights. So that's like level 1, interest. Okay, that's potential to be a decent coach. Level 2 then is your insights. What are your insights into this industry? What do you think? I'll ask them things like, how do you think we got to this point, and where do you think the industry is going? What are the trends that have shaped why we do what we do? What do you think about the rise of technology in coaching? How's that going to impact things? What do you think about the current state of the fitness industry? Why do you think personal training accounts for 1% of the total billion-dollar weight loss industry, and supplements account for 78%? And that is going to tell me how much of a student of the industry they are, and how much intuition. So if they are like, I think apps and tech is going to help us do this, and it also shows me from the past, if you asked about copywriting, and if they were like, oh, I love the legends like the Halberts and Drayton Birds, and I love how these guys have created this, and now with changes in tech, you're gonna be like, hey, this guy probably knows, like he's a student of the industry, he has potential to learn, to be a lot better. And same thing with you guys, if they can show trends, even if they're completely fucking wrong, at least they're thinking about these things and they're having enough awareness to make predictions. It's a really good level, that it's a good indication that person is going to be a good manager for you someday, because they can anticipate trends and they have a good awareness of the industry. The third thing I'll ask them, after interest, insights, the third thing is influence. Who influences you and your work? Because this is going to help with your systems are influenced by someone. You're maybe a student of John Berardi and your nutrition program is similar to that, or maybe it's a keto thing, or maybe you're like into CrossFit, or maybe you're more into more functional-based training, or you have influences that have shaped how you do nutrition or mindset or fitness. And so if they have similar influences to you, they're going to be able to follow your systems with far less resistance and ease. So if we, for example, love John Berardi's stuff in nutrition, which is more simple, practical for the everyday person, but we ask their influences, and they say, oh, I love John Berardi, I've been on all his courses, I've read his books, I really love his philosophy. We're going to be like, okay, that's probably a good fit, you're probably going to get on with our stuff very easily and have passion for it. Whereas if their influence is, I like Jillian Michaels or Kim Kardashian's 30-day nutrition shred, it's like, it's probably just not going to be the right fit here, you know, because you're going to have so much...
in real life, you don't want to follow that.
Because they're going to have so much resistance and education of how to do things completely different our way. And so we look at those three things: interest, insights, and influence. And if they can tick all three, you've now got good personality and good skill. If the skill is lacking, you always go for the personality, because we can train skill. You can't train someone not to be an asshole. But you can take someone, again, if they can count to 10 and teach a lunge, I can show them the rest of our workout, because the fact is most of our clients could get up and coach one of our workouts. So anyone who's like thinks they deserve more because they're a level 3 PT, it's like totally irrelevant to me. You know, you're going to read our workout off the board. I don't need to pay someone £30 an hour for that. So that's really the interview system, but having a pipeline is going to be your thing right now. Connect with local colleges, certification programs, any pipelines you can get right now. Go to certification providers or colleges, sports studies, ask them, because what their big gap is in education is they give all the education, but they have a hard time finding the practical experience for their people. So if you go to them, you'll be like a savior and say, hey, do you have any students on file, current students, former students who would love to work in the gym industry?
Can you put in there?
Yeah.
In all the colleges, like the university students and stuff, they have to do, I think it's 80 hours of work experience in their desired field. So there's normally loads of like sports students and stuff that you can speak to, and then they're like, oh, they come with open arms.
I asked that on my foundation week, and my college couldn't find me a work spot.
Yeah.
I had to go and get my own job, right? Blag it, because I wasn't even qualified or anything.
You can offer that if they're good,
That's-
just give them a job.
So these colleges, like if you go and like you'll open up your business for work experience, they'll love you for that because it makes them look better, right? Because their courses, they can now go and say, be a student with us and we'll guarantee you a placement on a local gym we partner with.
I've really had that from the university as well. They get final year students and they're like, we've got like 1 million graduates here like queuing up for a job, and there's just can't get any experience. You know, you have to be qualified to get the experience and like blah blah blah. And yeah, there's a massive queue definitely there.
Whenever I put a job ad out, it's literally all of them are students who are from the local university. So it's a no-brainer to offer the opportunity.
Definitely.
What you want to try and do in your application process is put them through a hurdle that a lot of people wouldn't do. So if you know of Mindvalley company at all?
Yeah.
Mindvalley do about 30 million a year now. But when I first met Vishen in 2009, I mean, if you wanted to even have a hope of working for him, you had to do your own video and put it up on his YouTube channel, right? And you can do that, test that in various ways. Like I see stuff and they'll say, follow this step, and somebody wants to do complete other steps. Well, they're immediately out. If they can't do that one simple thing that you want them to do, well then they don't count, right? So yours might be, all right, I want you to do your own video, selfie video. Tell me why I should hire you, right? Something different, but the small percentage you do that are going to be a better candidate for you or anybody else in the room. Don't make it so easy. Survivor, TV show, everything's via video. You've got to submit the application. Yeah, you can't just say, put me on. And they all try and outdo each other, right? And get all this psycho come out, and they get on the show.
One thing as well I'd say about the actual application process as well. So I think Matt was saying earlier on about people literally just trying to give the right answer on the thing rather than giving them an actual account of like what they are or what type of person they are. So as part of the application process, one of the things that I did was literally force them to make a decision to identify what type of character they are. So it's like, are you generally the creative type predominantly, or are you the type of person that really needs defined clear tasks and you're very much more task orientated and that sort of thing? And that straight away, you've got people going, like them people that sort of go, I work awesome on my own, but I'm also really good in the team. It's like, stop trying to give the right answer. Just say, I'm shit at working.
But this
in the
again
team.
is
I'm great on my own because
yeah.
I know whether I can use you now. Like
this again is what I touched on earlier. The only time I've made bad hiring decisions, which is very, very rare, is back in the early days, is when we have a right brain person, a creative person, who is dressed up and acting and talking and speaking like a left brain person, because society tells them that's how you get a job. Had this one girl came in for a job on reception, And she was really cool, really nice. Like, she seemed really, really perfect for it and had all the right answers, but something just didn't sit right with me. I was like, I don't know what it is, but I don't know, like, something's just off. I don't know, maybe I've seen her in an online video somewhere before, or like, I don't know, but there's something about her, something is a bit uncomfortable about it though. Maybe I slept with her 10 years ago, I don't know, right?
That's very possible.
But it was, that's the usual awkward feeling, right? But there was something just uncomfortable about it. We took her on anyway, and you know, to do like spreadsheets, and she couldn't put data into a spreadsheet for shit. Like 3 hours on a task, like, can you put like these names in these boxes? And she's like, have you done that yet? And she'd be like, oh no, I haven't, but I doodled like 5 new logo designs for us. I'm like, that's lovely, but it's really good, but like, and when I realized very quickly, and I didn't do like a Facebook check, so I saw like her posts on like social media that week, and she was out like in like a club, and she was all like, you know, dressed up in like all rock gear and black nails and everything, and like a mosher kind of, I don't know what the term is these days, but and so you could tell that's her real personality. Like, that's not the girl that walked in here with the shirt done up and everything and hiding the tattoos. You know, and we wouldn't have cared about that stuff. I'm way more in common with her. She's like, oh, you like Metallica? You like rocking out? Let me see your tattoos. But society and school and tells you, like, you don't show that. You don't show your personality. You say this. You do this. It's yes, sir, yes, madame, and you say the right thing. And so they're conditioning you and these people into being a left-brained follow-along. And that then you have right-brained creative people that can say all the right things, and then they actually bomb at the job. You know, you have to put them into a right-brained creative job. So that's the one thing that can trip you up sometimes. Like what Shane was saying, you can get people that are conditioned because they think they have to. And in most cases, they do have to. In most places, one is aware as you when it comes to hiring. So, yeah. But I think for now, that's the key thing is all these great ideas but you need that pipeline. So get the funnel up as we've shown you in the program, and just go and connect with some colleges and universities right now, sports studies courses.
Even look on Facebook. I mean, there's probably groups out there that could be, what's that classified, or jobs, but you can advertise in there as well, free shit.
Yeah, Indeed.com. We've got some people from as well. Indeed, I think it is. Yeah.
Can you ask your members? So all our coaches started as members. We now run a coach development program, which is basically allowing them to learn how to become a coach, learn from us, work with us to do it. We do it over 6 months, and we say, right, after 6 months, you will be good to go. Not only will you go to your CrossFit level 1, but it's a really good weekend, but actually you'll be prepared to coach the way we do it. So it's like a slightly longer game. But then we know in 6 months' time we're going to have like 12 people.
Yeah.
We
Same
say.
In apprenticeship, same thing. Yeah, we just certified 10 members into a level 2 program, and we upsell that into a 90-day apprenticeship, £2,000. And because they're already members, so we can have fast track a little bit, but they can do £2,000, includes the level 2, and they also have to do 20 hours of work experience with us to pass it. So they're paying us now to do the sessions for us. And again, from your client base, it's freaking perfect. They get it, they live it, they've changed their own bodies with it. They'll be your best clients usually. And so again, it's positioning it though, as goes back to your target avatar and getting your hook right. It's to a 40-year-old person that's going to quit their job in an office all their life to finally get a chance to make it as a fitness instructor doing something they love. That's the hook you got to pass on to them. This is a brand new career opportunity that wouldn't have existed for you before. If you're targeting a 20-year-old college student, it's a slightly different message again. So it just comes back down to that, like, these are your new clients now. Your team members are your new clients, literally. And you need to sell them. You need to sell them on working for you. Same way, pretty much. But we overlook this. We're like, oh, we just think, you know, they should just come and do the job. They get money, so. But no, you've got to. You know, all women want to lose weight. You still got to sell them on doing it with you, versus all other options, including nothing. So, yeah, it's really getting that in your head now, guys, as well, as to be less passive around bringing on team members. It's the same mistakes you've made with the clients in the past that you're now making with team members, where you were just reactive, looked for clients when you needed them, didn't advertise in between, didn't really lock down who is the best person that will get the most value from your business specifically. Again, a level 3 PT who's freelance and wants their own thing is not the best fit to work in our company. So we don't want to waste their time as well as ours. But a young student or maybe a veteran client, it is a perfect setup for them. Our product, a career with us, is the best product to add value to their lives right now. They are the target customer for us. And so it's really starting to think about that now, and same with Gary, it's like now you're going to get out there and you've got to sell that, and you need to sell all the top talent in your area to want to work for you. And you do that, and then getting the clients will almost take care of itself. When you've got the talent wants to work for you, now you're talking about real local domination. They'd rather be with you than against you, basically, because you're taking all the risk for them and all the responsibility, and they get all the rewards.
Good.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We'll go to Stephen.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm a mindset coach, sometimes. And I've taken on board what you said. I did a little survey in my group, which I thought was a graveyard, 1,200 people. When you look at insights, about 800 of them are actually kind of snoopers.
Lurkers, huh?
And I said to them, obviously people don't rock up in a group of 1,200 people and tell you what's wrong with them, which is understandable. They are very much interested in the small group live trends, 6 to 8 weeks, but also similar to what you've got with the blueprint on Thinkific, the kind of work-alone video courses. So I'm creating those. Also doing more live streams to them. But also, one of the biggest things I've realised is my own journey of, call it personal evolution, kind of stopped. I got to a good place, good money, good contacts, and it was all putting stuff out there rather than looking at what's the next level for me. So as I said to John earlier, I've gone right back into kind of reliving that spark for me about 5 years ago, going back through the books, the content, evolving as a coach, because then I can bring an even better version of me into their world.
Okay.
So
I like that because
I'm big on results.
Because the predominant problem I see across mindset experts or life coaches or personal development, whatever, is their attachment to thinking they have to look like their life is perfect. But on the other end of the extreme, so you have this fake, I've got a Lambo, blah blah blah, the stuff JP Sears makes fun of at one end.
Yeah.
On the other end of that, then the people are like, oh no, you need to be vulnerable. And then you got people bawling their eyes out in a fucking live stream.
Yeah.
And I was going to make a post the other day about where someone says, if you're positive all the time, I don't trust you. And I'm like, if you bawl your eyes out in a fucking live stream, I don't trust you fucking either. Right? Because you're in the throat, in the jugular. So, and because coaches just swing into extremes because they can't have self-awareness and discernment to find what really in the middle. But real vulnerability doesn't mean you don't bawl your eyes out and cry to people on a live stream. It really means, like, because that's just a tactic, what it really means is you're honest about where you are and your own goals and aspirations in life. And it's not saying like, I suck at this and I suck at that, because I don't think you need to talk that way. It's just saying like, oh hey guys, I'm doing this brand new course because I think I could work a lot more on this aspect of things in life. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I'm just doing this course and I'll share along what I learned to you guys too. That's how you're being vulnerable. It doesn't mean being weak.
Being vulnerable is actually being okay being you. It took me
it's just saying, I'm here. Yeah, it's saying, I'm here, and here's the gap I've seen for myself that I can expand into. It's not vulnerability. People think it means weakness. It means like, they think it means like, if I'm here, it's me saying, but this is where my life sucks. If you want to talk about it, you can, but people won't trust you either if you do that.
I think a very interesting paradigm shift there. I have a lot of clients with this. It's almost I'm not good enough and broken in some way, therefore when I've got this, I'll be there. I think that's a very painful journey. What about accepting that you're okay as you are, that you can still improve? Because that's a very different journey. You've got one that's, basically life's a shitstorm, and until I lose weight, I'll get the gym, I'll get the qualification. I know one, which is going to be, a perilous journey, isn't it? Let's be honest, the first step confirms misery, lack, and everything else. Compared to, I'm actually pretty good at what I do. I've got results, I've got a track record, but I can impact those more by improving who I am and what I do. So I've gone, as I said to Joe, I've gone back into the books.
Okay. So what's one thing you can work on with you right now? What's one thing you want to move you forward next?
What? I don't know. Honestly, I'm in a very good place.
How would
I
you ask?
realise that it's a 2 to 3 year build. I'm under no illusions. I took all of the last year off to spend time with my kids. I'm in a position where
Okay.
I can do that.
I think there's a question that Trevor will ask best.
You can
What's
tell,
this
like,
like?
yeah, there's one. By the way, those shoes are amazing.
Who
Look,
do you think Trevor works with?
I don't know what his hook is, and I don't know enough about what you're doing, because sometimes for clients it takes me 2 or 3 weeks to find a hook, a
Yeah.
big idea. But, you know,
But like narrowing in on.
well, you know the conversations that you're having with them, right? So you want to try and enter the conversation that's already going on in their minds. And this is all of you. If you can do that with your clients, right, the more sales you're going to get, not what you think the conversation is.
Definitely.
Right, so what you said about the, you know, being you, right, it brought me back to something I say to people that I know if they're going through stuff, and I say, keep on smiling, keep on being you, right? And tell them it's okay, you know, no one's perfect, people think they're perfect. But maybe a private check I'll throw a couple of questions at you and then try and come up with something that suits better, right? Because there are a lot of, I mean, you know, there's a lot of fucking dickheads out there that sell at life coaching and stuff like that, right? So you're different, obviously, right? But you want to maybe ask them some questions, right? Or you said you did some surveys?
Yeah, so I mean, I've got a.
There'll be a hook in there, so there'll be a hook in the answers, I can guarantee you.
They weren't shy in saying that, obviously, look, I don't see them as problems, but everyone has a next level in. So I use the analogy of, you know, the old stack system, the graphic equalizer, John dancing around. You know, we've got certain aspects of our life. And for anyone in this room, there's always a next level, or at least one of them, most of them, if not all of them. You know, health, relationships, are you at peace? Do you actually like who you are? Do you get up better and serve in some way? And I got some great feedback there, because while people rarely open up into a large group saying, well, you know, I feel like shit and I'm not in control of help, it takes a brave person to do that. They did say that if it was a smaller group that was guided, which I've done successfully before time previously, so you get 30 people, 6-week course, live video, drop that in, you do a Q&A afterwards, they do start to open up. And I think the great thing there is you've got that support where it's not just you.
You're charging for that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I made £6 grand in a week and it didn't exist. So, I
So
mean,
what about that question then that Trev said earlier, you know, what I'm trying to touch on is,
yeah.
why should they do business with you
Why should they do business?
and not the other 10 zillion
There's-
coaches?
People go to sign up for become part of your group, right?
Yeah.
It's a closed group or?
It is close. Yeah.
Okay, so do you ask them questions, you know, the typical 3 questions?
Yeah, there's the
What,
questions.
what are the questions?
I can't remember because I haven't signed in it.
One thing, like in my group, because I mentor writers and business people,
Well, you
like
can get
globally,
people and stuff.
right? And I say, what do you want to still not be happening in your business in 90 days from now?
Right, okay.
Over what would you like, what's a goal you'd like in 90 days? That's a specific goal, right? But those problems they're having are still there, they won't get the goal.
Yeah.
So when they answer what they want to not still be happening, that's fodder for me to help them, right? So maybe one of your questions should be, or even do a post in your group, what do you want to not still be happening in your life in 90 days from now? And of course, they're not going to want to do that in the group, but send you a private message. And you get a lot of gold out of that as to how you can help them more.
I think that will really help with the creation of the training package.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's coming from them rather than you trying to suss it out.
And I'm, as I said before, guessing the answers to those surveys, there's gold in there, not just in a hook, but stuff you've never thought of because you might not know how to analyse it.
Should we have that chat later maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
I'll
this-
for that.
okay. I'm just going to jump over this side next with you guys because you're going to go soon, right?
Yes.
Okay, but you're working
The boss has
together, so, well, let's do you guys before you have to go anyway. You'll be doing this together, right?
Yeah. We run a business together called Fit Pro Recipes. So we do recipes and meal plans and things for trainers. It's like a white label product. We will brand it to whatever Joe Blogs PT or whatever it is. And you really do it, don't you? I came up with the idea about 6 years ago, and I got heavily involved in bodybuilding and started wearing thongs and getting spray tans and stuff. I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest with you.
Lucky I had lunch for that visual.
But I've decided to come away from that competitively now anyway. I still want to be big and massive, and I've got a really shit sense of humour and create the most awkward moments in the room ever imagined.
You've done that.
I want to know with you guys, before you get to a question, because we had a chat when you sent it to the program. So I want to know first, what have you done since then with what we talked about? And then let's go into where are you now then, and what challenge or what's the next step we can help you with right now. But first, what have you done since we spoke? Because we covered a lot.
One of the best things I've done is surveying PTs, which I've done for a little while in the past, but not really got anything from it. I've probably not been asking the right questions. So yeah, I've been just getting some really good answers, really good insights, thoughts of new products, thoughts on ways we can improve products, even contacts to other people. I was trying to find a life coach that I could do a collaboration with, and somebody mentioned on the phone he uses one in his business. I was like, great, hook me up with her, and we've spoken on the phone. So many like benefits, and then because we're videoing the calls, there's even a chance to get testimonials from PTs, because some of the questions might bring out things that they like about our service, so we can get that as well. So that's been really useful. I am struggling to get people to actually book in surveys. That's one of the struggles.
Well,
They say they're too busy.
I remember two things we talked about was your prices being a bit too low. I think, and then as an extension of that, really getting the positioning right for what is the value of this to a fit, because I think that's what's going to really pull more people in. Is, like I said to you, I look at your website and I see Fit Pro recipes. I'm like, hey, I have multiple gyms, but that's nice.
Yeah.
But because you need to sell me, say very similar to Shane, you need to sell me on we will boost your client results and retention without you lifting a finger.
Yeah.
We will increase your lifetime client value and make you more money without you lifting a finger. We'll take on that extra work to make your clients happier with you, kind of thing.
Just to interject there, like, so you know, last time we were in Cyprus, and one of the first things that you said, like, I know you're a nutritionist and you're in the nutrition world, but that's 10% of it. Like, the other 90% is to do with, business client retention and things like that. So it's nothing to do with nutrition. It's to do with like the additional value you can add to people's businesses.
Yeah.
And straight away, like on my post, you probably see like that day I was talking about, oh my god, look at this amazing smoothie or something. And then it's straight away I was like, no, adding these smoothies will actually increase your client retention. So, just the wording's completely
because
different.
you're talking to personal trainers, but you need to talk to the business owner, personal trainer.
Yeah.
That side of them, not this is great nutrition. Because again, as a business owner, I'm not thinking so much. My technical team handle that stuff, the programming now. I don't know if my clients are eating bananas or strawberries or I don't know. My job as a business owner is make more money, save more time, give better stuff to our clients, but without us having to work extra hours or have huge costs with it.
Yeah, I've definitely been honing in on that and thinking about that a lot more now. Because that call that we had really got that through. Because I don't think that way. I'm not, like you said.
No, but what have you done? That's why I want to know what have you done since that call.
Yes.
Have you thought about it, or have you changed anything yet?
Yeah, I've been doing quite a bit of email content, so just sort of thinking of ideas to send out things as well, and social media posts as well. Just ideas for that. How we could just change the angle.
Just on ideas, generally something happens to all of us every single day, whether it's you read about it, you experience, see it on a website, that you can use to flip into a story to sell your products or services. Right, and you saw the Walk the Line I posted the other week. Walk the Line, you know the movie Walk the Line about Johnny Cash at all? Okay, so it's basically a movie about his life. I was watching it on a flight from Australia to London back in 2006. I'm watching it, and there's one section there where basically Cash is trying to get a record deal. And the producer stops him and basically says, look, that song's as boring as hell, everyone's doing gospel songs. If you were to get hit by a truck tonight, is that the song you want to be remembered by? And all of a sudden Cash is like changed into false imprisonment, which is what got him the record deal. Right, now in terms of sales and marketing, similar sort of thing. I mean, if your life depended on the next message you put out or you're dead, would you send that same shitty message? Most of you wouldn't, right? But I watched a movie on a flight to go and speak at an event from Australia in London. I took that one part of it, wrote an email about it, wrote a blog post about it, and pulled in about 15 grand just from that one email. Right? There's something happens every single day. You should never ever be stuck or struck on stuff to write about. And even if you think about something that's happened in your life, it might have happened 2 months ago, you start to make a list like a little headline. At some point I'm going to turn that into fodder. Right? Different ideas, you just got to segue it into the next step you want somebody to take. Whether it's fill out the survey, sign up, get on a call, you just got to make it flow in. But ideas, if you start to train your mind to think about it, right, then your copy will flow much easier.
It's
Make
difficult
sense?
to think of content all the time. Is it like, you know, if you're trying to put out 3 or 4 pieces of content every day, you think, how do I make that? Like, I think that's one of my personal fortes with the content that I put out, and literally just letting whatever happens that day dictate what the content is, if that makes sense. Because that's like, it's nothing to do with me. I'm not trying to force the content. That's actually what's happening.
Well, it's about documenting, not creating, is what we're kind of getting at here. And that's why I was like, I'm smashing out posts all day long, because I'm just recording what's happening. And I'll easily tie a tip or a nugget of information to it. And it's to a point now, I just don't even think about it. You know, I'm just whack, like, you know, we made videos last night. The new workbooks arrived. I'm like, I'm going to make a video about it. And he was like, what are you going to say? I was like, I don't know, put the camera on. I'm going to talk about my workbooks. They look amazing. I made like 10 Insta stories out of it. I'm making it for me. That's the ironic thing. I don't give a fuck what you think. And that's the difference. And I said I would talk about this, like the imposter syndrome side. You only get stuck for content when you're thinking outside your head about what do they want, what's going to make them, what's going to validate me. You know, and you do have, you have an awareness that you're relevant to people. You're not just talking about things that are boring. But, you know, you're also going to have that side where a lot of you are just not putting content out there. I said this in the post. All you guys could be the #1 trusted premium brand in your areas or your niches if you would just get out of your own way and share these personal stories, share what you really think. Don't hold back on your opinions. But a lot of you are still just trying to stay within those narrow lines because you're taught that from birth, right? Don't stray outside the lines. And an extension of that is you're also too afraid to big yourselves up usually. You're scared of what are the prospects going to think, or what's the other trainer going to think, or what are my parents going to think if they see this?
Literally, it all comes down to other people's opinion of you, and you're worried about that.
Believe it,
It's amazing when you don't.
when you said earlier this morning about like your mum, you know, and hold on Cyprus, and do you know exactly what she did there? Do you know why she's able to have that emotional response with you? She knows you, right? She knew exactly what to say to hit that emotional button to have you thinking that way, that we're making the right decision, blah, 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 right? When you're in a relationship, you know, someone knows how to push your buttons, well and truly, and vice versa, right? Because you understand them. If you can understand your ideal customer that way, how much more money do you think you're going to take, right?
Point, actually, definitely. Might get
so that was, it's like bang, it's like she knows you.
Yeah.
Like she knows what to say, because you're her son. She knows exactly how to tweak your emotions.
Yeah.
Right?
So what's the one thing for you guys then really can get you to the next step of your plan right now?
Do you charge monthly? I mean, how do you charge it one time or a long
We do
time?
both. We've got some one-off products which range from like 60 quid to 265. And then we've got membership products which range from 25 a month to 57. So I've been looking at, you know, like you say, what are the most popular monthly products? Because we sort of said, why don't we focus on membership products for now? Because they're bringing in a nice chunk of money. What's the most popular product that people subscribe to, and what's the average retention rate as well? And just sort of working out a cool product out of all the ones we offer. And then sort of tweaking the funnel that we've got, which sells people onto membership.
Okay, so the people that were paying, like, you say, somewhere like 25 or 27,
Yeah, I'd say average like 33 a month.
Okay, but if someone is paying flat 27, they're going to pay 29, right? So increase your prices 10% overnight. That's straight pure bottom cream. In anyone's business, generally, if you increase your prices 10% overnight, you'll retain still about 95% of your customers. Do the math on your own turnover, right? I helped a company wipe out an average hardcore $900,000 overdraft in 12 months to be $750,000 cash at bank in a year just by doing that. It took me what, like 7 seconds to say that marketing tip, right? That's one thing, right? And you probably had some of this conversation with Justin. But if you're doing a monthly stuff, when I do monthly stuff, I always have an annual offer as well.
Yeah.
And I find 25-30% of people will do the upfront 12 months, right? And depending on what the product or service is, right? And again, when you look at your numbers, for a certain product, you might go lifetime deal, bang. You know, pay 500 quid, that's for life, and you'll get a few certain people that
We
would
did
do
that
that.
in the gym last month for James. We did a just to raise some extra cash.
Yeah.
We did a lifetime, £1,500 lifetime access to the gym. We sold 20 in an afternoon. I just put him on the phones, like, because he's like, "What's the script?" I was like, "We just put the message out and you call people and make the sale."
Yeah.
And you just closing, 1,500. Did like 25 grand in the morning.
So if somebody, let's say our corporate was a fixed sum a month,
Mhm.
and we offered it for a year for, I don't know,
Well, this
500
rounded
or something.
at 60, so it's what, 600, 720. I'd probably do 597, yeah, for a year.
and then a lifetime deal.
Look at your numbers. It really depends on how long you've been doing it, right?
With a lifetime as well, remember you're going to get an upfront chunk,
Yeah.
but it is going to sacrifice
Don't
your
sell too
recurring.
many.
So you can limit the
So,
number. You limit
yeah.
the number. We'll offer lifetime for the first 17 people at 997 as an
And
example.
know what you're going to do with that cash. Know that you're
Yeah.
doing it for a cash injection, so you can reinvest in
Yeah,
something.
you gotta leverage it.
Don't just do it to get a nice chunk of change in the bank, because you're gonna chop off your long term. So you've got to be careful with it.
Limited number and expiration date, so takeaway selling. Right, here's the deal, X number of people, offers expired by this date. That way you can't have 500 people sign up and go, shit. You know, limit it to 7, 17, whatever works for you guys. Right, and as Justin said, what are you going to do with that cash and how are you going to spin it into a better return?
Okay.
I think that's the key thing. It sounds like for you guys, it's still that initial fact. I think the big linchpin is you're still talking to PTs on the level of technical things, so you're charging £33 a month. But when you start changing the message, just the message, to you're buying this not to give your clients better nutrition, but you're buying this to get them better results and increase their lifetime value, you can then be literally charging double for new members. That should be like £60 a month. So if I pay £60 a month to you, and 100 of my clients who pay me £100 a month each are going to retain longer and have a better service, that's not worth £60 a month to my gym. There's apps that charge more than that, right? But that comes from it's not going to come from putting more in your offer. It's not going to come from more deals. It's not going to come from more content. It's ultimately going to come from change the positioning, the perspective.
Yeah.
And it'll happen like that. But you've got to be telling them what they're really getting for this.
Okay.
And if you can show how that then, and £60 then, or whatever, £50 a month, is still a steal. I like the 10x rule. If you can show them how whatever they pay is going to bring 10x more value to the business, it becomes a no-brainer. You know, we tell people like our Mastermind mentorship for a year is like £5 grand, but it's easily going to add 60 grand a year to your bottom line.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
guarantee, if you know your numbers, what you can do, you can pretty much guarantee, like, if you don't make, an extra 50,000, I'll refund you your money, or the second year's free, whatever. Like, with my mentoring, like, my mentor and my clients at 17,000 for 3 months for 2 hours a month, right?
Okay.
It's not the low end. So look, if you honestly think after that 3 months I haven't delivered, I'll do the next month for free.
Right.
It's never happened, right? Never will, but it helps with the risk reversal,
Okay.
right?
So you, again, do that research on your clients, and if you know your average clients, because I use a 60,000 mark, because that's generally, that if I help someone grow by 5k a month recurring, they make about 60 grand in a year. That's the low end. I've helped guys add 3 million or more to their revenue in a year. So, but that's just, if I look at my overall client, the majority of the people, that 60K is like a nice result for the majority of our clients. So if you do the same with your guys, look at how many clients on average your Fit Pros would have. What are they charging on average? How much could, if you could increase their retention rates or lifetime value by 10% through your service, what would that come to? And you have some quantifiable, specific kind of numbers then to say on average, our Fit Pros that work with us generally, you know, can attribute an extra, you know, 3K a month of added sales and retention thanks to using our product they wouldn't have otherwise. So would you like to add, you know, 3K this year to your business, £60 a month?